What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with Divorce Sisters Season 1, Episode 15. C and Bread. Before I start, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated. All right. So, y'all, we pick up with Geneva jumping over the couch and she start to proceed to beat the hell out of the lady of the night. Okay? So her and William, so they get the lady up out of there. William they managed to get her out of the house. And then her and William started to argue. He was like, have you lost your mind? And no, she asked him, she was like, have you lost your mind? And he was like, yes. And so now they're throwing F-bombs at one another. Like they are really going for the jugular. So William said, she was like, F you, blah, blah, blah. William was like, old girl just did. Geneva said, at least one of us are satisfied. I was like, my God. So Geneva tries to leave. He grabs her and she pushes him out of the way. And she tells him how much she hates him. And William was like, there it is. You have always hated me. So she was like, I want a divorce. Sorry, y'all. I want a divorce. And he agrees. And she said, I'm a lawyer and I'm taking you to hell. But he was like, listen, will you just wait till I get that DNA test on Anika? I was like, my God. So Geneva starts to get physical with William. She actually slaps William. She throws 2 vases at him. And then she clocked him across the head with a glass vase. And then he got up. After he kind of came to a little bit, he smacked the piss out of her and she fell. She get up and she stabbed him, look like right here. And then she walked out of the door. And I was like, ain't nobody thinking about Anika. You left him bloody. Your daughter upstairs. I'm so concerned. I'm so concerned. Like, I do want to say this. I do think that this is Geneva projecting, like, it's so sickening, okay? You're mad. You're so mad at Javon. You're so mad at Javon. And you took it out on William. But I will say this. I would have been mad if I would have came home and had some strange woman in my house. Anyway, just the fact that she is crashing out. I just want to say, Soldier Slim said that outside keep them hoes sick. Okay, that's what he said. I'm just relating the message. Rest in peace, Soldier Slim. Anyway, so then we get to Rashida and Jeff. Didn't I tell y'all he wasn't gonna say nothing? He wasn't gonna say nothing serious. I knew he was going to bring the humor in about Big Red? He pulled out the red wig. And I was like, the whole thing was funny. It was funny to me. I felt like I'm glad to see opposite Jeff and Rashida based on what we got in the first half. So anyway, we get to the next scene. We see Grayson and Francis. They're driving to go to their dad's house. The police calls Grayson and tells him Franklin has been unalived. And I was like, I thought the police knock at your... Well, they had to call him. I'm sorry, y'all. That's on me. Because that's back in Atlanta. Grayson, I want to say, was in school in South Carolina. So they had to call him. So anyway, I was like, okay, I this must have been whatever... This must have been a plan that's been cooked up by Franklin and Hakeem. And I'm assuming this is another theory. Once Naomi meet him for breakfast tomorrow and give him that money, then she's gonna get locked up. That's what I'm thinking. They set something up in place. However, I think those plans are gonna be deterred because I think she's gonna get locked up. I bet that they're going to send the police to her hotel room where she's going to get locked up. I'm like, girl, this is crazy. So Grayson tells the officer it was his mom, and that she came in town to hire. She came in town. She hired somebody, and we have the footage on video of that person walking through the grass. So not only is she going to go to jail, of course, but he's going to go back to jail. And I don't know if he have 3 strikes with it, because y'all remember he didn't wear a mask, which is crazy to me. And I'm thinking, sir, why don't you have on a mask? Anyway, I just felt bad for Grayson. I really do. Like, it's the manipulation he has to deal with between the both of his parents. It is insane to me. So John Raggedy ass decided he wanted to call Tiffany. He wanted to try to ask, did you find out anything about William and that prostitute? Sir, mind your business, because you really don't want to know that. So his whole ass decided to tell Tiffany, well, I'm going to take you back to court for more alimony, because I've been online and I've been seeing all the houses you've been selling. So Tiffany clocked him. She was like, you only want more money because you saw me with another nigga. And she threw it all up in his face. She tells him, you know what? I'm gonna pay you. You can take me to court, but I'm gonna have him deal with the case. And when I have him, as a form of payment for this man, this successful, beautiful, tall, fine man dealing with my case, this alimony situation, baby, I'm gonna pay him in cootie coins. Okay, cootie coins. Okay, she said coochie coins, I think. I don't know, but she wanted to pay him in cootie coins. And she said, and not only that, his way better than yours, and is better than you have ever been. As long as I've been married to you, I'm paraphrasing. And she was like, you a nigga, and she hung up the phone. Shout out to Tiffany. She was the MVP. So anyway, Grayson and Francis, they head to Naomi. And he tells Naomi that Franklin has been unalive and that he was contacted by the police. She tells Grayson how poorly, because she didn't care. She just laughed. She kind of chuckled. And he was like, you don't care? And she was like, not after how he treated me. And she was like, he asked her, okay, yeah, and how low was you? And how low was you for putting all of that on me? The way he treated you, you put that all on me. I think emotionally. So she said, we're in this together. Here's that manipulation. She was like, I told you about all the things that he did to you. And Grayson was like, you're lying. And Naomi said, I caught him. Like, I don't know. This is crazy, y'all. I don't know. So Francis, y'all know I don't like Francis. But I wasn't mad that she got onto Naomi. But, we know Naomi. I'm surprised Naomi ain't choke her. But Francis tells Naomi how Grayson is in therapy and how he cries all the time about her. And, that he's sad for her because he loves her. And Naomi was like, is that so? And I'm just looking at her like, you got to be suffering with something. You got to be suffering with something. It has to be something mental up here for you to be this person. So Naomi, they leave because they have to go to Franklin's house. But before they left, Naomi told him, you're going to be the heir now. And she was like, because he's gone. I was just like, girl, like, ugh. Anyway, they leave. Naomi starts to dance because Franklin is unalive, so we think, but we know he's not. And Hakeem wants his money. He called her, when you gonna pay me? She was like, I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna meet you at breakfast tomorrow. Yada, yada, yada. At this point, I'm a little stressed out because how are we gonna end this storyline? Like, that is my main question. How are we gonna end this storyline? I also, again, the amount of emotional and mental manipulation that they place on Grayson, as much as I probably don't want to admit this, I low-key feel like Frances, even though they're young, Frances seemed very strong, or maybe that's just an act. But she seemed like she could be good for him. But again, I don't trust her as far as I can throw her, but I'm glad she have his back in this moment because this is what he needs. So anyway, Bridget and Tiffany. Tiffany calls Bridget and they decided they wanted to meet up for breakfast. She tells Bridget, hey, both Rashida and Geneva been acting a little strange, and I'm just let you know, just give you the details that I do know unless you know something. And Bridget was like, nah, y'all know Bridget don't know nothing. She's always in the dark. Rashida treats her like that irritates me to no end. And here is another thing I don't like. Tiffany, the only reason you are calling Bridget, and I get that they was getting their nails and stuff done, but the only reason you like cool with Bridget and you ain't really down Bridget throat like that is because you and your girls are on the outs. You don't know what's going on. But I'm pretty sure they gonna find out next week in that parking lot. That's what I think. Anyway, Bridget walks outside to see her car destroyed by Kelvin's wife. And as she's looking at her car, the lady flattened all the tires. She keyed the car. She spray painted the car. She bust out the lady windows. And she spray painted Psalms 3:7 on the back of this lady car. Not only did she do that, she walked up to her antagonizing Bridget. Listen, I get we all got a lot of us got I commend Bridget because she is a better woman than I would ever be. But I get it. My girl has control over her emotions. How we would like Naomi to show up, Bridget is the person that has control over her emotions. So the girl she's antagonizing Bridget. Kelvin pull up because I'm assuming Kelvin must have followed his wife. And she's outside mad, yelling and screaming. Bridget and Kelvin goes into the house. Kelvin had the nerve to ask Bridget, please don't call the police. And she was like, what? Like, you seen what she did to my car? So Kelvin was like, I fix it. She was like, I don't need you to fix my car. Let him fix your car. And so she tried to look at it because, in order to press charges, I think she was going to need proof. Well, the crazy lady spray painted her camera outside so you can't see what she did. I was like, yeah. He apologizes to her. He tells her he's going to fix her car. And then he leaves. So Kelly knocks on over at the pastor and first lady. Kelly knocks on the door and just walk in. Like, nobody said come in. You just walk in. And you're like, who is that? You got another woman in this house? Because y'all know Rashida didn't take off that wig. Okay? And I was like, girl, mind your business. And so she grabs some water off the little nightstand and she doused it on Rashida. And Rashida like, girl, what are you doing? So she was like, yeah, girl, get out. Like, she aggravated me because it seems very evident that they're so used to their parents fighting that I don't even think they stop to pay attention to see how well their parents been getting along. I just wanted to point that out. They see so much bad with those two that they're not seeing them being one or cohesive or whatever. So in the next scene, Tiffany calls Javon to tell him about John and, if he can take care of that for him. Of course, he decides he wants to. And so Tiffany did make a comment, and I wanted to point that out. She was like, you make me so happy. And I'm like, Tiffany, you just met him. Maybe. Now we may be on day 5. like 5 seconds and he make you so happy, okay, girl. So Rashida, we see her trying to contact William and Geneva, but nobody answers. She calls Jeff to let him know, listen, I tried to call the both of them and nobody's answering. So then she calls Javon so he can meet with her at the church, and he agrees to. Bridget talks with Tiffany about the whole Calvin situation because Tiffany had to pick Bridget up. So they're at the, out, eating breakfast at a diner. And so Tiffany tells Bridget how Geneva has been acting funny since I've been, she was like, she's been acting funny since I've been hanging out with Javon. And so she goes on to tell Bridget that John told her William was leaving the bar with a hooker. And they both laughed. They was like, that's crazy because we're talking about William. William wouldn't do that. So she was like, well, what did Rashida say? And so Tiffany kind of adjusted herself like Rashida would do, and she didn't say anything. And she was like, usually Rashida has a nice message, or she always has something nice to say or some type of message, and she did not. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to pause because I was doing a lot of coughing. Gotta work on that. So anyway, Bridget tells her they all of the girls need to meet up. Now, I will say this. I don't know if everybody washed their hands with Naomi, but nobody's looking for Naomi. So I'm thinking, has this been like a day or two turnaround? Because this is Tyler Perry world. Like, it's a Tyler Perry world. So anyway, Bridget decides we all need to meet up. Maybe we could get some things straight. She was like, because none of this sits right in my spirit. Because, Bridget not really used to all of that. So Bridget looked at the time. She was like, listen, I gotta go. And she was like, Bridget took Tiffany's car, and Tiffany got a ride share to get to wherever it was, to wherever her destination was. So Bridget walks in the church to see Myron sleeping in the church, and she was like, you slept here? And he was like, no. And I'm like, Myron, you just gonna keep lying. Okay, because that was Bridget. Like, why you just lie about crazy stuff? You just gonna keep on lying, huh? Whatever, Myron. Anyway, Bridget was frustrated. Like, she got frustrated at that moment, and then she had to apologize to Myron because she was like, listen, I had a bad morning, with everything that happened with her car and Calvin and all of that. So she was frustrated. So, she tells Myron, a little bit, I think a little bit about what happened, and that Myron's wife, she said, I had a lot going on. Myron said, let me guess, Calvin's wife. And she was like, what you talking about? He said, not only did the lady call the people that work at the church to tell them what she think is happening, she left messages online on the church board and from different accounts, just saying bad things about Calvin and Bridget. And he was like, I was trying to erase them, but I couldn't because it came from too many accounts, so it was way too many messages. I was like, oh my God. So Rashida walks up and she tells Bridget, hey, come into my office, I need to talk to you. And Bridget immediately was like, so you know what happened? And Rashida was like, no, tell me what happened. And so she tells him about Calvin and Calvin's wife and the things that she's been doing. Bridget asks, and I think Rashida asked Bridget about the young dude, Vaughn. And she was like, no, I'm not dealing with Vaughn. Like, I put him out. I meant that. And so Rashida was like, like, she didn't say that, but it was like, okay, girl. I don't know, y'all. I I get so annoyed with the way they treat Bridget, and I need her to put her foot down. So Bridget asked her what's going on between her and Tiffany, what's going on between William and Geneva, and what's going on between Geneva and Tiffany. And I want to say she asked what was going on with Javon and Geneva. I don't know. So the first lady act like she ain't know, and she decided, she wanted to put Bridget out, and she said she tells Bridget to keep her calendar fluid. And before Bridget left, did I say Tiffany? I'm sorry, y'all. I mean Bridget. Before Bridget walked out of the office, she noticed that there is a glow to First Lady, because she was like, child, I don't know. Because normally she a little somber, but this time, because she got a lot last night, she was like, I don't care. Like, she didn't say that, but, her demeanor was, y'all know how it is when you be like, everything is la, 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 la. And so that's what, that was First Lady. And so Bridget was like, you ain't gonna tell me? Y'all know Bridget a little nosy. She nosy. And the First Lady was like, no. And she was like, well, I'm happy for you. She was like, I'm happy too. And she said she felt like her and Jefferson was in a good place, and she's really happy about that. Like, you can see the light in First Lady, and I'm here for that. So anyway, Javon contacts Tiffany, and he asked to see her later, and she was like, well, I did ask for space, and you could come over, but we can't do X, Y, and Z. Javon immediately lets her know that he was meeting with Rashida, because Rashida requested to see him. And he was like, as soon as I find out what's going on, I'm gonna let you know. And that was that. So Myron is coming I'm assuming he's coming from the store. So he turned the corner. He was on foot, and he sees Geneva in a car crying, parked outside. So he runs over there immediately. He was like, are you okay? And she was like, with that stink ass attitude. Okay, she still had that stink. Geneva, come outside. I just want to talk. I just want to talk. Okay? So she was like, go get Rashida now. And he was trying to check, but y'all know how Myron get. He overly does things. And so she was like, go get Rashida now. And so he ran in the church and when he got Rashida, and Geneva told Rashida, her and Bridget came out. And so she was like, what's going on? Geneva told Rashida William hit her, so I stabbed him. She tells him, I caught him with a prostitute and I lost it. Rashida asked if he's okay. She said, I don't know. I left. I was like, my God. Lord. This is where the episode ended. Okay, I was thoroughly flabbergasted, sliding out of my chair. Like, I was like, girl, wait. Why did we get to the place where William hit you? Because you made it seem like you saw him with a prostitute. And I get it. You did say, in her defense, she did say she lost it. But you need to explain that story from A to Z. We can't start in the middle. He only hit you because you hit him upside the head with a glass bowl. After you threw two more vases at him and slapped him in the face. Okay? I mean, but you was mad. Okay, you was mad. Okay, you was mad. But, I don't know. This was crazy. I hate that. I'm assuming that next week is the final episode. I hate this, y'all. Lord. Listen. This is bananas. And that's all I gotta say. This is freaking bananas. She said he hit me and I stabbed him. True enough. You stabbed him because he hit you. But, ma'am, I said, my God, on today. Y'all let me know what y'all think is going to happen next week. Do y'all think William is going to survive the stabbing? Where the hell is Anika? Okay, what we doing about Anika? Do y'all think Naomi's gonna go to jail? Is she gonna be set up? Is Franklin doing all of this behind the scenes? Do y'all think Franklin is alive or not? Who else? And Tiffany. Do y'all think Tiffany gonna find out next week? I'm sorry, y'all. Do y'all think Tiffany is gonna find out next week? I mean, it's gonna find out all the answers that she needs to know. Like, I feel like they really gonna leave us on a cliffhanger, y'all. And all we gonna do is this. That's gonna be us. But anyway. Yeah, this is crazy. So yeah, with all of that being said, this is your girl Q1, reminding you to keep showing up, keep growing, stay true to thyself, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.